not to be confused with Paladin Group, a private military contractor and far-right organization which existed during Francoist Spain.Paladin Group, also known as Paladin Solutions, Paladin Holdings, and Paladin Solutions Group, is a security and project services contractor which operates in Southeast Asia, Australia, and Oceania. The company was founded by Craig Thrupp, a former member of the Australian Defence Force. The directors of the company are Thrupp, David, Saul, and Dermot Casey. In September 2017, Paladin Holdings was awarded an AUD contract to provide security, IT, local transport and some site management for 3 Australian immigration detention centres located in the town of Lorengau on Manus Island, Manus Province, Papua New Guinea. These centres are West Lorengau House, East Lorengau Refugee Transit Centre, and Hillside House. They still held the contract as of April 2019. The contract has been reported, but not verified, as being valued at $423 million in June 2019. After the contract had been renewed several times, the Australian Minister for Home Affairs, Peter Dutton, said that Paladin's contract would probably be extended once again. However, a few days later the Papua New Guinean government indicated that they would cancel or terminate the contract. The PNG Immigration Minister Petrus Thomas said the PNG government wanted a transparent tender process, and that Papua New Guinean companies now have the capacity and expertise to do the job and should be given the opportunity to participate. On June 26, 2019, the Australian Department of Home Affairs and the PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority issued a statement confirming a limited extension of Paladin's contract, after which the PNG government would administer a tender process for a local party to take over the contract. In July 2019, media reports refer to an email from Paladin Managing Director David Saul that confirmed the contract had been extended for 6 months in a decision that recognizes the professionalism of Paladin. In April 2019, the company's website stated they employed 4,500 local nationals across the Asia-Pacific, including in Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, and Singapore. In June 2019, Paladin announced that its strategy of nationalizing its PNG workforce had reached the milestone of 98% local staff after its expatriate staff numbers had been halved in 2 years, with more nationals stepping into senior managerial and technical roles. Paladin also increased the shareholding of Perrin, the local landowning group, to make it a 50-50 partnership as per the terms of an MOU that was signed in 2014. Prior to being awarded the large contract, Paladin's work included being a subcontractor providing security at East Lorengau Refugee Transit Centre on Manus Island, which housed 60 people. Their contract was worth about $15 million a year as estimated by competitors, though currently unverified. In July 2019, Paladin sponsored an initiative by Australia-based not-for-profit Screens Without Borders to bring cinema back to Manus Island after 40 years. A series of film screenings were held in remote communities across the island. Paladin's contract for Manus Island ended on the 30th of November 2019. They aim for an orderly transition to a PNG company to provide care and maintenance at the LRTC facility. Paladin's website states that they are Australian-owned. In April 2019, the website listed the following subsidiaries in various countries: Australia. Paladin Group, a U.S. proprietary Ltd., offices in Canberra, Australian Capital Territory. Greater Monaro Electrical Construction and Management, ECM Monaro, Quebec, New South Wales, Papua New Guinea. Paladin Group. Black Swan International, former competitors of Paladin in PNG private security sector, who were taken over in 2019. Electrical Construction and Management, ECM. Singapore. Paladin Holdings Pte. Ltd., a holding company whose registered offices are on Battery Road, Timor-Leste. Paladin Group, Timor-Leste subsidiary. Sentinel. Renlo Car Hire, a car hire company based in Dili. Paladin also had a holding company registered in Hong Kong since 2013. Craig Thrupp was born in Canberra, Australian Capital Territory. He was 38 years old in February 2019. The Paladin website has no biography for him. He formerly served in the Australian Defence Force. On May 24, 2000, at the age of 19, he gave an interview for the UNSW Australians at War Film Archive describing his experiences as a soldier. In 2011, Mr. Thrupp was not a director of high-risk security, but High-Risk Security, Asia Pacific, Proprietary Ltd., a company established a year later which eventually became Paladin Group Proprietary Ltd. David Saul was appointed CEO of Paladin in November 2018 and joined its board as managing director in May 2019. He retired from the Australian Defence Force as a brigadier and went on to work for the major Australian logistics firm Cube Holdings. Dermot Casey joined Paladin's board of directors in May 2019. He retired from the Australian Public Service in 2013 with roles in the Department of Health and the Department of Immigration and Citizenship. He was awarded the Public Service Medal during the Australia Day Honours in January 2008. In Australia, the group's former name was High Risk Security Group, Asia Pacific, Proprietary Ltd., 2010, Paladin Group Proprietary Ltd., 2010 to 2018, and is now Paladin AUS Proprietary Ltd., 2018 present. Their Australian business number is 641440000573. On February 11, 2019, the Australian Financial Review published an article which alleged that Paladin was connected to a company called High Risk Security Group in a related entity HRSG Australasia Proprietary Ltd. and cited controversies linked to it. The story was retracted by Australian Financial Review on Friday, the 10th of May 2019. On February 21, 2019, Paladin published a statement on its website clarifying that neither of these businesses were owned, managed, or controlled in any way by Paladin or its directors. Registered office locations. In February 2019, the company transferred its Australian office to a building in Canberra. Their main offices are located in Singapore. Government contract tender process. Paladin were awarded the Australian government contract by the Department of Home Affairs without an open tender process, which suggests they were the only company invited to bid. This is unverified. This was despite having little experience and a poor reputation, according to allegations made by the Australian Financial Review, now retracted. Paladin has had a record as a subcontractor providing services on Manus Island dating back to 2013. The Department of Home Affairs stated that it had previously run a closed tender but attracted little response, partly because larger companies didn't want the noise. The Australian Financial Review reported that Serco, Broad Spectrum, Spotless Group, Blue Point Services, Anichua, PNG-based firm, and Construct, a Brisbane-based construction firm who later acquired a $591 million contract to manage Nauru Regional Processing Centre, indicated interest in the contract, but were not allowed to bid. This is unverified. Removal of Craig Thrupp from contract. In April 2019, it was revealed that Craig Thrupp was removed from the contract at the request of the Home Affairs, out of concern about an email account. Money laundering case. Kisa Kakausu, a former colonel in the Papua New Guinean Defence Force, was detained in Port Moresby in January 2019 on charges of money laundering relating to his time in the Papua New Guinean Defence Force. He was for a brief period a local director of the company in Papua New Guinea, and no further action has occurred in relation to these charges. Simple case. The company's former chief executive in PNG, Craig Thrupp, was suing Paladin in February 2019 claiming breach of contract and that employees were sent to Manus under misleading pretenses. Security dispute. In January 2018, there was a dispute between Paladin and Kingfisher Security, a PNG security firm. Kingfisher officers prevented Paladin staff from entering the detention center. Refugees reported feeling unsafe due to the disruption caused by the local firm. However, the situation was soon resolved. Alleged corruption. In February 2019, it was reported that the family of one of PNG's most powerful politicians was directly benefiting from the business of Paladin. Paladin entered into a contract with Paladin Solutions, a company with links to the family of Job Pomat, deputy leader of the ruling People's National Congress Party, Speaker of the PNG Parliament, and key ally of Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. Job Pomat, who was elected Speaker of Parliament in 2017, has denied any links to the firm, a position supported by Paladin, which stated that Paladin represents the traditional landowners of the site that the Loringat facility is located at, and that they are under the leadership of Kipo Pomat. The agreement with Paladin predates the award of this contract and the election of Mr. Pomat. Labor disputes. In 2018, Paladin Solutions acquired a leading local security services provider called Black Swan, and there were some complaints over wages following this acquisition. All Paladin employees earn award wages and regulatory obligations to superannuation met. The same month, some Paladin employees walked off the job, demanding better pay. Most were paid between $2 to $3 per hour, better security, meals, and overtime pay for long shifts. They also complained that some employees had their wages reduced. This industrial action was illegal under Papua New Guinea law, and police intervened to help resolve the situation. Sexual assault case. In April 2019, an Australian Paladin employee was arrested and jailed on Manus Island due to allegations of sexual assault. The employee was a former G4S employee and had returned to Manus to work for Paladin. The alleged victim is a Paladin employee. Australian government audit. In March 2019, the Auditor General of Australia announced that he was reviewing all Australian government contracts for the offshore processing of asylum seekers. This followed a request by the Australian Labor Party for the auditor to review the Paladin contract. Though, the Auditor General stated that offshore contracts had already been suggested for a performance audit before Labor's request.